You wanna tell Mr. Crystal what it's called?
It's called Out of This World.
With its insanely successful run back in 2016, Sing completely changed the trajectory of musicals, showing just how well animation could blend with the genre. With a cast of bright and colorful characters voiced by some of the biggest stars in the music industry, Illumination Studios really hit it out of the park with the first Sing film, earning over $400 million worldwide. So it was pretty obvious that the sequel would do just as well, if not better, with most of the film's original cast returning to reprise their roles. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out all of the exciting things that went down behind the scenes of Sing 2.
Where's the koala? Who are you?
I'm in charge, that's who! Now get your tail to wardrobe, sweetheart!
Before we get into Sing 2, here's a refresher for all of you who don't remember what went down in the first film. The Sing's franchise follows an anthropomorphic koala named Buster Moon, played by Matthew McConaughey. The premise of the first film revolves around Buster doing all that he can to not lose his rights to a failing theater after a streak of failed shows. He finds a solution in the form of a singing competition where animals from all over the town participate and compete for a $100,000 prize. But surprise, surprise, Buster doesn't really have the prize because, well, he's broke. What ensues is an hour and 70 minutes of hilarious jokes, catchy songs, and emotional moments that will leave you rooting for Buster and all of his friends as loudly as you can. The sequel sees the return of Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Seth MacFarlane, and almost all of the original film's most iconic characters reprising their roles, along with the addition of Tori Kelly, Halsey, and Chelsea Peretti, who are part of a massive and brand-talented ensemble cast. The reason why Sing 2 was released years after the franchise's first installment is because production of the film had to be halted and continued remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. But after all of those hurdles, we were finally able to see Buster make a comeback on the big screen in December 2021.
He's called Darius, won a ton of awards, and I think you guys are gonna have great chemistry.
Ever since the trailer release of Sing 2, people knew that the sequel was still going to feature Buster as a primary character, with a combination of new and old characters helping him put a brand new show on at the famous Crystal Tower Theater in the fictional city of Redshore. The plot of the second film follows Buster trying to impress Crystal entertainment mogul Jimmy Crystal in an attempt to do that. The koala sets out with his friends to convince the retired music legend Clay Calloway to come and perform at his show. The only problem is, he's already told Crystal that Calloway's on board while the rock star isn't feeling the idea. For all of you music enthusiasts out there, you'll be glad to know that the man who plays Calloway is the legend himself, U2 singer Bono. The star has lent his voice to the film's lovable lion, who was once a famous rock star but retired and moved away from the crowd, living a life of loneliness after his wife passed away. With his vocal talent, Bono is the true shining star of the film, making the audience fall in love with his character and sympathize with him every step of the way. Another really exciting addition to the main cast is Scarlett Johansson's role of a porcupine named Ash, who is borderline obsessed with Bono's character Clay Calloway. And while Ash flies solo at first and is more of a side character in the first film, in the sequel she eventually joins Buster's gang and sets out on an adventure to convince Clay to be part of his show. The film shows Johansson in a completely different light after her long-term stint in the MCU, and honestly, her voice acting is a breath of fresh air for the audience who can't help but root for Ash.
Dad, you tried to kill me!
What? I thought you were thugs. Coming here to finish me off.
One of the things that the first Sing film was known for was its heartfelt moments and emotional exchanges between the characters. The sequel also features similarly wholesome moments and dynamics, especially between Ash and Calloway, whose connection is what truly defines the entire film. Speaking of Scarlett, the actress has established herself as a strong vocal performer, and her character truly shines in all aspects in Sing 2. As far as the rest of the characters go, their storylines mostly continue on from the first movie, with Gorilla Johnny and Tori Kelly's Mina the elephant go through the most character development because of their story arcs. Reese's Rosetta also has a lot of potential, but also just isn't given enough screen time for her to break through. As far as Buster goes, he's a same old koala with big dreams and not enough time to achieve them. The plot of the film is mostly driven by Buster's mistakes and is resolved when he learns how to confront his mistakes and solve his problems with the help of a dedicated and talented group of friends.
Up against hope. Gosh, I won every award in town. The Golden Piccolo for Best Crying.
A moment that might have gone unnoticed for most people who watched the film was the fact that McConaughey's daughter, VIDA, is also part of Sing 2. The 12-year-old makes her debut and voices the piglet playing in the chocolate fountain in one of the funniest and most memorable moments in the film. Her dialogue, "This is the best day of my life, Daddy," is all the more special when you hear it now, since she was technically saying it to her own dad by saying it to Buster, making for an adorable moment in the story. Sing 2 promised to take things up several notches from the original film and the franchise, with the filmmakers trying to raise the bar however they could. From the costumes to the locations and the overall animation style, there's a huge difference between the two films and how realistic they are. With tons of details and attention paid to every single character and their looks, Sing 2 has a bold and colorful animation style that draws the audience in, to the point where you almost forget that you're watching an animated movie. Not just the locations and costumes, but even animating the dance routines along with the iconic battle scene between Claus and Johnny took hours and hours of animation just because the producers wanted every single emotion to be represented as realistically as possible. So you best believe that Sing 2 has really taken things to the next level, not just in terms of story but also in how the story comes to life.
Ash?
Buster?
Not only is the film cast some of the biggest vocal talents in the entertainment industry right now, but the producers also made sure to use them to their full potential. Along with being beautifully animated, Sing 2 is also just as beautiful as the first film in the series when it comes to the soundtrack. Combining upbeat and emotional songs that go perfectly with the pace of the storyline, Sing 2 is every bit as brilliant as the Golden Globe winning prequel. But don't be fooled, because all wasn't fun and games behind the scenes of this fun-filled movie. Writers, producers, directors, actors, and editors had to work over an extended time to make up for the COVID-19 lockdowns, and at one point they didn't even know whether it would be possible for them to release the film at all. However, all's well that ends well, because clearly the film turned out to be what the audience was expecting of it. The trailer used a cover version of U2's I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, which is bound to evoke nostalgia in the best of us, pushing us to go and see what this unusual film is all about. The music fits perfectly with every little scene, and considering just how good Pixar is at making tearjerkers, there is no doubt that you might be shedding a tear or two once you're done with Sing 2. Just like the original, Sing 2 features some pretty catchy tunes performed by artists like Billie Eilish, Elton John, The Weeknd, Eminem, and Prince, which just goes to show that this soundtrack is one of the most brilliant ones that an animated film has ever had.
My name, it's Mina, not Gina.
Yeah, okay.
Sing 2 had a hybrid theatrical and digital release, which was a major gamble for a sequel, but in a stroke of luck, the move proved to be a successful one, especially in light of the pandemic. As far as the actors go, sources say that Scarlett Johansson, Matthew McConaughey, and Witherspoon earned around 7 figures for their roles in the film, putting an end to the actress's infamous lawsuit against Disney for the hybrid release of Black Widow. Hope you guys enjoyed this fact-filled video about our favorite movie. What do you think of Sing 2? Let us know in the comments below. Please subscribe to our channel to watch more content like this. Until next time.
It's easy!
All right, let's get you down, Rosita.